It might.
Yeah, but today is a rough daf, but after this, the next few blot are easy. So yeah, hopefully we'll.
I mean, in a week it's over.
In a week it's over. Let me tell you, I'm looking forward to that Yuma and Sukkah Givaldik. Not Chas v'Shalom, nothing. It's just it's rough. It's hard. What should I tell you? It's hard. What time are we starting Motzei Pesach?
We do 9 o'clock again?
I mean, 9 is tough.
The clock didn't change that much in a week. So do it while you're listening to the shir.
Goes up 8 minutes, no?
Yisrael.
Some of us have to clean up after Passover, Jesse.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Right, but the only thing is, then we shouldn't do it till 11.
Yeah, parents just make believe it's a Litvishes Sudas Mashiach. That's all.
It's Landau's time.
Yeah.
So Yaakov, you're not even going to be done by 72.
We'll have to make it done faster, that's all. The question is 9:30 is nishtaher.
I mean, why not? I mean, you still have to make a time.
I say we call it for 10. And like this, we at least got it in a little bit, and then the women won't be upset. Oh, you're running away.
I'm in for 10. I like 10.
10?
And you get the kids to do it.
I hope that's the middle of the heavy work.
Well, if you play your game right, you make sure it is the middle of the heavy work.
That's all we'll have to do. What time is Shkia today?
7:21, no? 7:03 is candlelighting, no?
Yeah, 7:03. So that means it's going to be 7:05, 7:04. 10? Is that what we're going to do? 10?
I think 10 is better than 9.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess 10 it is. 10 it is.
Just don't tell Landau, because they're like, oh, if you could do it once at 10, why can't we always do it at 10?
So don't tell him.
Well, I guess if he could come to shir once, maybe he could come to shir all the time.
Does that mean if you help in the kitchen on Motzei Shabbos, you have to help in the kitchen the rest of the year?
Make sure you say bli neder.
Exactly. That's like it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
So Yaakov, is Yud Beis today's daf?
Today's daf is Yud Beis.
Yeah, Yud Beis.
I would like to do Yud Beis, and then I would like to finish the parak today. That would be the goal, and then we can do Matzah Yom Tov. The blot are they're very easy. So it's Agada, believe it or not, it's Agadata. So I think we could do it. Fine. Rabbaran Horowitz has Yartzeh. What's the name, Rabbaran?
Mulchaim ben Rabbaruch Tzvi.
That's Shmuel Neshama for what do you say? Shmuel Chaim?
Ben Rabbaruch Tzvi.
Rabbaruch Tzvi. Neshama's Oven Aliyah. Learning should be as a schutz. Okay, so let's go. So Zog Gemara. So yesterday, so the Mishna was the main part of the Mishna was talking about somebody who's makriv. He's not makriv. He's hekdesh his nechasav. He donated all his belongings. He donated all his belongings to hekdesh. And the question was that there are animals in there and things that theoretically could be korbanos. And the person, when he's makdish is nechasim, knew that there's animals in there. So did he mean that those animals should be korbanos, or did he mean that the animals should go specifically to korbanos, or should they go to bedek habayis? Yeah. So that's what it is. So Zog Gemara, hamakdish lekorbanos tzibur. So we said that if he's makdish it, right? So that it's and he has things in there to go to korbanos tzibur. So do they go to korbanos tzibur or not? So Rabbi Yochanan Amar ketores. So Rabbi Yochanan says it goes to the ketores, right? Now, meaning it's talking about where in his belongings were what do you call it? Not recipes.
Frankincense.
Ingredients?
I'm saying
Ingredients.
Yeah, he had the ingredients. Thank you. He had the ingredients of ketores. Amrav Hashia Tipata. So let's say pshat, right? It must be like we had two daf ago, that it must be talking about a worker from Beis of Tinas. He donated all his things, and part of his belongings, they gave him the extra ketores. So part of his belongings were ketores.
So the Mishnah is only talking about this family.
Yes, yeah. Comes out. Why else would anybody have ketores hanging out in his house? Right? Yeah, so that's what it means.
Well, most of us have cinnamon in our homes.
That's true, but I don't know if that's I don't think it means one specific. I think it means all of them. No, why would you think a guy who has cinnamon's gonna put a ketores? L'chara means that he had all of them together. That's what I would think. Okay, and the Ben Azai disagreed. My time with the Ben Azai. Why did Ben Azai say that it's not going to become ketores? She'eina hekdesh mischal ala malacha ela ala ma'is. So Ben Azai says a rule that hekdesh, you can be machal hekdesh onto money. You can't be makadesh hekdesh. You can't be mischal hekdesh onto malacha. Right? It's on something that the guy has to do. Right? You can't be makadesh you can't be machal onto something that's just based on a salary. Yeah. Right, and because salary or work is not work. Guys, you have to go out. Go back to Bubby's house, please. I'm sorry. I could have said the shiva my mother. I thought it would be quieter. They go back and forth. It's like a shuttle. Yeah. All right. I apologize. Okay. Fine. So Taman Taninon, we learned over there. Yesh bekotshim bedek habayis. So this chumrah is normally something that goes to hekdesh for the mizbeach. It's much more chumrah than things that go to bedek habayis. But here we're going to say that there are certain things that apply to bedek habayis don't apply to for kodshim mizbeach. So stam hekdesh is the bedek habayis. Stam hekdesh means it goes to bedek habayis, right? And then hekdesh bedek habayis chal ala kol is it's chal on everything. And if you're over on anything that comes out of it, meaning if you have an animal that you donated to bedek habayis, right, not for the mizbeach, and then that lays eggs or milk or anything like that, then and somebody by mistake uses it, he's going to be over on me'ilah. Bein behen haniya lekehana, and there's no hana for the kehana, meaning the kehanim don't get anything from bedek habayis. Fine. Amar of Chananya, the Rebbe Eliezer he. And again, we said Rebbe Eliezer he, but that's for really what means is Rebbe Eliezer. The Tanina,
This is the other one. The other one was Rebbe Eliezer.
Well, he said
Just
Rebbe
take off the
Eliezer.
olive.
Right.
The Eliezer and Laser.
Right. This is not right. It's not Rebbe Eliezer. This is Rebbe Eliezer. Right. Right. The Rebbe Eliezer. It's a riot that the Yerushalmis with Chassidish. I don't know. Okay. So Amar of Chananya, the Rebbe Eliezer he. I don't know how do you say it. Laser and laser. Okay. Laser heat. The trinon hamakdish.
Might as well go full force. Reb Loser.
Okay.
Reb Loser, Reb Laser.
My shvel of Bisham was Reb Loser. That's what my shvel was called.
Reb Loser. Okay. All right. The trinon hamakdish nechasov. Right. Somebody who's makdish is nechasov v'ayzer ben behema ruya agavi b'sbeach. And they had within the nechasim they had a behema that's royal agavi b'sbeach. Zachar and a kavus, if they have Zcharim and a kavus. Reb Lezer Oimer Zcharim yimachru letzarchei oilas, so a Zachar can become an oilah. When a kavus yimachru letzarchei zivchei shlamim, and the kavus can be sold for shlamim, okay? Because the kavus can be brought as shlamim, and oilas can only be males. U'dmeim yiplu imshar nechasam lebedek habayis. Right. So he said that you can't do. You can't take them and make them korbanos directly. You have to sell them for those types of korbanos, and then the money will all go to bedek habayis. So Amar Rabbi Yochanan, time of the Rebbe Eliezer, the reason for Rebbe Eliezer is v'ishki yakdish is basic kodesh Hashem. If a person makes his house hekdesh, b'man on kaiman, what are we talking about? In bebeis dira, if it's talking about the house, kvar ksivim mamakdish yigal is basic. He doesn't mean that he's donating his actual. Who's banging the drum? Shalom, you can do it in your room or something, please. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. In the base dira kvar ksiv, right? If it's talking about him being makdish his house, that already says if a makdish yigal is pesa. It says if somebody who's makdish, he's begoil his house. Meaning somebody's makdish his house, he has to be goil it. Elakia non kaimed be makdish lechosa. We're talking about somebody who's being makdish his belongings, right? Mikan shestam hekdesh is bedek habayis. So therefore we know that stam hekdesh is a bedek habayis. Some Rav Zira Rav Chuna b'shem Rav. So Rav Zira and Rav Zira said that Rav Chuna said the name of Rav. B'ma paginon. What's the machlokes between Rav Eliezer and Rav Yeshua? Whether this stam belongings, what the status of stam belongs. But makdish nechasov, that's only where he's makdish his belongings. But makdish edroi. But let's say a person is makdish his flock. He says this whole flock is going to become to hekdesh. Kol ama moide. Everybody agrees shul mizbeach. He must mean it's for the mizbeach. Why would a person be makdish a whole bunch of animals? He's going to go to the it means he's going to the mizbeach. What do you say?
Is this like a bladago when he's mefarish more, or is this stam anytime you makdish animals? But if he like a Yudal for Yudal, if you said if he's makdish kol nechasa and he's mefarish the animals, then it goes to kodshim his bear. Is this besides for that? This is not including that.
I think this is not including that.
Stam, just when he's only makdish his animals, then it goes kodshim his bear. But kol nechasa, even if he's mefarish, all my possessions and my animals go to hekdesh. That's kodshim bedek habayis.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. It's as the more specific he is, the more reason to me. Wow, if your guy says all my animals are hekdesh, what would we think? He has it in mind. I don't think he's not being specific. Why he's talking not being mefaret what he wants it to go for? I don't know.
No, I would look to me, but I'm not in the. It would be bedek habayis.
You think the animals is bedek habayis? Because otherwise he should stay,
Korbanos,
right?
He would say, I want to bring korbanos, but he wants to give the basic Mikdash a lot of money. He's a rich guy. He has 5,000 sheep. I want to give it to bedek habayis so to make a killing. Let him sell it. We has to bring 5,000 what? Chatas, oilers. The guy's the biggest market.
No, not for him.
For whom?
Not for him. No, for like the kates on the day after we had. So they'll own 5,000 animals that they can bring whenever they need to bring an animal.
So all the Kahanim could get the skins. They could just rack up those oilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to see that those that are chaylik, there are those that are chaylik on that and hold, right? And we're going to, well, yeah, we'll see. Well, let's wait for the Gemara. But right now he's saying that everybody would be moided if a guy says he's donating his flock, then it's going to go for kodshim his beach. Rabbi Bar Rav Chuna b'shem Rav Maplaginon the makdish edrod. The Machlokes is where he's makdish edrod, right? That's the Rabban you're saying of a makdish nechasov. But if he's makdish is nechasov, then everybody's moided. It goes to bedek habayis. Fine. Al-Taiti to Reb Zera, Gemara is going to ask. Al-Taiti to Reb Zera Nicha. According to Reb Zera makes sense, right? This because that Machlokes Reb Eliezer Yeshua is where somebody's makdish everything. The kasha al the Rebbe Ba, but they have a kasha on Rebbe Ba. Behema loylam mizbeachi. Are you saying that a behema is not meant for the mizbeach? Behemas are meant for mizbeach. So why would you think it's for bedek habayis? So Gemara answers, "Behema lemizbeachi." You're right. A behema is normally meant for the mizbeach. I said, why did these just do it stam? This is Rabban. This is Mamash Yutaina. Why did he do it stam for? Animals are meant for the mizbeach, so he should have said, "I want this thing for the mizbeach." He just said it's stam. Must be that he wants it to go to the bedek habayis. He says a little different shot. Lo shanyahi, there's no difference. I'm sorry. Lo shani, there's no difference. He makdish nechasav, he makdish edroi, he machlokes. The machlokes, whether it goes to bedek habayis or not, is whether he was makdish all his belongings, whether he's makdish his whole flock, and it's the same. It's the same machlokes. Rav Chuna, b'shem Rav Rabbi Abo, b'shem Rabbi Yochanan. So Chuna said in the name of Rav, and Ravo said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Kodshim bedek habayis shepoidin tamimin. So kodshim bedek habayis that you poided them as tamimin. The halach is that you're not allowed to be poida. Right? We said this 2 days ago. That you're not allowed to be poida animals that don't have a mum. Right? If there's an issue with them, then you have to put them out to pasture till they get a mum. But animals of bedek habayis, you are allowed to be poida them even when they don't have a mum, even when they're tummin. So kodshim bedek habayis shepoidin tamimin yotzu l'chulin. If you poida them, then they go out to chulin. Right? You swap the kedusha out from them, and that animal is going to go out to chulin. Masnisin amrakain, and we say the Mishna actually says this, right? V'ladan v'chalban mutalachar pidyonan. Their chalav and the whatever they give birth to, and their chalav is mutter after the pigeon. On Tomei Beis, Rav Chizkiya b'shem Rav Chisda, he says different pshat, right? He says that's not the pshat. Rav Chizkiya b'shem Rav Chisda tipater shepadan tamimin v'humamu. No, that case is talking about where you were poida it, and then they became bali mum, right? But if they're just straight up, then they don't become bali mum. They don't become chul. Rabbi Yosef b'shem Rav Chisda masnisan amrakain, right? He says that the Mishnah is saying this: Vladan v'chalban asur. The vlad and the chalav is asur la'achar pidyonon, after their pigeon, right? Which that's talking about kodshim mizbeach, but kodshim bedek habayis, right? It's going to be mutter after they have a pigeon, and after they have a mum. So the Gemara asks, kodshim bedek habayis shepadan tamimin yotzu l'chulin. Kodshim bedek habayis that were poidin when they were tamim, like we said, go out to chulin. And taimar lo yotzu l'chulin. So if you you say that, it doesn't mean ain here. It means I'm sorry, this ain does. Normally ain means in the Yerushalmi means yes. Here it means not. Yeah, ain taimar lo yotzu l'chulin. So because if you say that they don't go out to chulin, heich kodshim mizbeach chalan al kodshim bedek habayis. How can you ever have kodshim on the mizbeach be chal on kodshim bedek habayis? It's a different level of kedusha. So Gemara answers, Bali Mumin, kodshim mizbeach, Bali Mumin, kodshim mizbeach chal aleim. Kodshim mizbeach is chal on them midrabanan. And what's it negeya to? Laida mila, and to what is it negeya to? Legizo lavaida for it's how do you call it? It's the wool.
Shearings.
The wool, the shearings, right? The shearings and the lavaida, right? For work, to use it for work. Fine. So Hifrin Shekeva, now the Gemara goes on a different case. Hifrin Shekeva, let's say somebody was mafresh, he separated a nekeva, a female animal, for an Olah, for his Pesach, or Ashram, right? So then what's he going to do with this? Because a nekeva certainly can't go for an Olah, so Isa Tmura. So what he does, he makes it Tmura. Like we discussed, Tmura is when you swap out animals. Tmura is it's a very interesting din because it's asur to do, but if you do it, it works. But actually, both animals get the kedusha. Right? But you're on a lav if you do Tmura. Shimon Aimer loy lasai isa Tmura. If he made it for his Olah, then you can make it a Tmura. The Pesach la shamay ena isa Tmura for the Pesach and for a Shlamim, then he can't. Right? Because for the Olah you don't have a choice, but Pesach and a Asham you do have a choice because a female does work for it. Reb Shimon ben Yehuda and Reb Shimon ben Yehuda says in the name of Reb Shimon, for all of them, it does not. He can't make it into Tmura. Some Reb Yochanan and time of Reb Shimon. Why does Reb Shimon hold that? Because we find that you could bring a female as an Olah by a bird. Right, so therefore you see that there is one place that a Olah can be brought as a female by Oif, right? So therefore you're allowed to make Tmura. Rabbi Yochanan, time of the Reb Shimon ben Yehuda, and Rabbi Yochanan says the reason Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda says imin b'minayhu chalakala, right? So if you're going to take a min b'minay, the same exact animal, right? it's different, right? So therefore, it's not gonna get the kedusha, which we'll see by the kolshim came min b'she'ein min, and certainly if you're gonna take a min and put it onto a different type, right? Meaning a female where it's supposed to be a male, or a male with a female, then for sure it's not gonna work. So what's a pshatim? What we just said? Eza min b'minoi shu chalak. What is the min b'minoi that's gonna be considered different? Kada the tani, like we learned, asham ben shana. You have a asham that's a ben shana, right? Meaning it's with a ben shana, ben shana. Right, so here, normally Ben Shana means it's already a year old, right? A Ben Shana
He's within a year.
didn't we want, okay, I'm not a little confused. One time Ben Shana already means it's already a year old. Right?
Different by animals and by other things.
What?
Like korbanos, it always means within a year.
Korbanos, it would be a year. Okay, so I'm mixing it up. Okay, so
We
anyway.
had something in Shabbos like that. But after a year, it said Ben Shana for a year old.
Yeah. Okay, so here, I mean, it has to be here that it's less than a year old. The Tani Asham Ben Shana Baby Ben Shtayim, and it's supposed to be right. You're supposed to bring an Asham that's a year old, less than a year old, and you brought one that's 2 years old, right? Ben Shtayim Baby Ben Shalosh. You're one that's supposed to be a 2-year-old, right? And he brought a 3-year-old. Lo Yatza, he's not Yatza. Summary of Yochanan, Reb Shimon, Reb Yeshua, Shneim Amru Davar Echad. They're both saying the same thing. Yeah, Kama, the Reb Yeshua, Kima, the Reb Yeshua Amar Nekeva La'ila, Kodsha Ela hekdesh Damim. Right? That Reb Yeshua says that Nekeva that you do it for Olah, which doesn't work, is not going to become Kaddish, only hekdesh Damim. Meaning if somebody separates a Nekeva and says for Olah, so there's nothing you're going to do with that. You're just going to make it into, it's going to have the money is going to go towards hekdesh. Yeah, Kain Reb Shimon Amar Nekeva La'ila La hekdesh Loi Kodsha. There's all sorts of gersa issues. Kain Reb Shimon Amar Nekeva La'ila Loi Kodsha Ela hekdesh Damim. It's not going to be Kaddish, only hekdesh Damim. Right, same as he agrees. Ein Tamar Kodsha kedusha Zaguf. Right, because if you're going to say that it's that it does become a kedusha Zaguf Yiro, then you're going to have to put it out to pasture, right? Because putting it out to pasture, because you have to wait for it to get, it doesn't have a mum yet, so you have to put it out there in order to get a mum. So Omar Rebbe, Hani Rayas Dibur Reb Shimon Pesach. Right? So I agree with Reb Shimon's words by Pesach. Sha Moisa Pesach Bashlam, because like we said this a bunch of times in Pesach Sheni, that the leftover Pesach is a shlamim. So the Gemara asks, "V'leima ein ani roya de Reb Shimon ba'asham, shamaysa asham ba'olah." Right. So why don't you say that he says, I do understand Reb Shimon because he says that the leftover asham can become olah. So why dafka by Pesach? Why can he say by asham too? Somewhere of avon im hekdesh Pesach b'shlamim gufay karav shlamim. When you makdish a Pesach, the goof. We said that really a korban Pesach is a shlamim. It's a form of a shlamim, so it can be brought as a shlamim. In hekdesh asham, ba'olah, ain't goof a karav olah. But if you makdish an asham, and that should be like an olah, then you can't bring it as an olah, right? You have to put it out yiruvachi yistov. Fine. So therefore, it's different. The asham to an olah is different than a korban pesach to a korban shlamim. Ma'o kadon. So what's the din here? What are they arguing about? Hahin amar. One says hekdesh damim hekdesh. If you makdish something with money, then it becomes hekdesh. Vahin amar hekdesh gufay hekdesh. No, only that when somebody's makdish a guf, that's when it becomes hekdesh. Okay, it's very difficult. If anybody is finding this as hard as I am, then whatever. Yeah, it's certainly on Erev Shabbos, Erev Yom Tov. This is not exactly the easiest Gemara to learn. Okay, so then weiter. So we said Reb Zira. So Reb Zira b'shem Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Reb Zira says b'shem Shimon ben Lakish time of Reb Yeshua. The reason why Reb Yeshua says daber for his shita, which is based on the pasuk of daber el Aaron bel Bana bel Kolbane Yisova Marta Alim Ish be Beis Yisrael Asher Yaakov L'Shem La'Olah. Anybody from Klal Yisrael who brings an Olah, a kol korav la'Olah, everything is possible to be brought as an Olah. L'Ratzayinchem Tomim Zachar. But if to be for Ratzon for you, it has to be Tomim and a male, right? That's what an Olah is. Minayin afilu nekevas, right? How do you know that even in a keva, right, that we were makdish, that you could take it? Obviously, you can't make a nekeva into an Olah because it has to be a male, but you can take that money from the nekeva and pay for an Olah. So how do you know? Babakar, it says Babakar. Right in the cattle, the rabbi says in the kevas. Why does the pasuk say babakar? So that's coming to include nekevas that you can sell them. You can sell the nekeva, take the money for an oila. Rabbi Yitzchak bei Rabbi Elazar shal. Rabbi Yitzchak Elazar asks, "Siv zachar batam babakar rabbi says nekevas." It says zachar, and you're saying that babakar comes to tell you nekevas, right? Ude kavasa ksiv tamim batam babakar rabbi bali mumin. It says it has to be tamim, and you're gonna say babakar comes to tell you that don't worry, the pasuk is lav dafka, right? He's saying that's essentially what he's saying again. The pasuk says it's got to be a zachar. Then you were saying babakar tells you that it could even be in the cave. So Rabbi Yitzchak is asking is okay. So it says tamim, that it has to be no mums, and then you say babakar is coming to include a mum. You're never gonna say that. So my binhain. So what's taka the difference? How come one can be, even though it says zachar, you can be makdish as a nekeva, and how come tam you can't? So Rav Amar shifted the dachta kabineh. There's a what do you call it? A stick, a shevet is a stick of the what do you call it? Of the people that weave, right? So you take this stick. I think what it is that stick that goes from one end of the what do you call it? The loom.
Shuttle,
right? It's the shuttle, but I'm saying it goes from one end of the loom to the other, so it's a big space. So so here is also the same thing, right? Because the bottom line is that theoretically, a nekeva can be brought as a korban, right? Before we were saying that it's tali and it can potentially be brought as an oil. Here we're saying bottom line is you say a zachar and then you're saying babakar comes to include nekevas. That's because nekevas at least they could be makar them as a korban. But a balmum you can never be makar as a korban. So therefore, it's definitely not going to be included in babakar. Okay, Rabbi Eliezer, Aimer Yimachru. Right. So what do? You sell it. Right. You use with the zachars for the oila. And then the nekevas for the shlamim. So the reason for Rebbe Elazar is daber el Aaron bel Banov. It says speak to Aaron Banov people Hashem la'oila that they should bring it oila to Hashem. Hakol karav oila. Everything is brought as an oil. L'tzaynchem tamim zachar. It says if you want it to be l'ratzon, you want it to be accepted, then it's got to be a tamim and a zachar. So yachal afilu oifis. So you think that even birds can be brought, right? Meaning that the money that they're spending with the hekdesh can bring birds. It says bakar, which means cattle, and not birds.
Did somebody take all of them?
Oh, that's not okay. So Rav Yirmiyah Rabun Barchia Havan Yasivan Va'amran Taman. I was going to actually be happy somebody had a question. Because that means that this ep is some sort of understanding of it, right? I'm saying for myself too, right? So this that it says Amar Rav Yochanan Tamar Rav Shimon Shekain Nekeva Shabayv Ksheira Lavayayla. Like we said on the top of the Amud, that Rav Yochanan says that the reason for Rav Shimon is that because a nekeva can theoretically be brought as a ayla. And Rav Elazar said this. So Amar Rav Yaisi Kiyamte I said it. Anything that you're not able to bring it, right? Anything that can't be brought, like hiva, like the male, not it and not its damel, like kedusha, hekdesh dam. So the only kedusha that can get is a kedusha of dam. It cannot get a kedusha as a guf. And now you're saying yes, that it's right. La kriva in einata yachal dichsid babakar v'levar. So you're saying that to be makar of it, you're not able to because it says you only bring from the cattle, not the birds. Liftaisai. Einata yachal. You can't be part of the kedusha. Ain't live pigeon. Birds don't have pigeon. The fum came, therefore it's arach meimar. Therefore you have to say like kodshim kedushas damim. So you have to say that it's only going to have kedushas damim. So you see that that's this whole svara is taka right, that the only kedusha you can have for these things is kedushas damim. Fine. So now the Gemara continues talking about Reb Shimon bar Yehuda's pshat. Chavraya b'shem Reb Yochanan. Like the chevra said b'shem Reb Yochanan. I don't know if that means chevra or it means like chaver talmid chachamim. I mean, Mastama, they were talmid chachamim, so I don't know if it might be a moot point. But Chavraya b'shem Reb Yochanan. Rav Aivu bar Nagri, Omar Kumi Rav Ila b'shem Rav Yochanan. He said in front of Rav Ila in the name of Rav Yochanan, time of the Hein Tanya, right? The reason why Rav Shimon ben Yehuda is saying this din is because Vim Kol Behema Tameya. The pasuk says Vim Kol Behema Tameya Asher Lo Yakrivu Meno Korban Lashem. Any Behema Tameya which they can't bring as a korban. What's the word tameya telling you? Elafilu tameya ba'isei Hashem. Right? Meaning even if it's tameya in that same doesn't mean Hashem. It means in that how do you say it?
Category.
Category. Yeah. The kasha, but we have a kasha. Bedek ziv hemed v'herich. But the problem is it says they have to stand up the animals, v'herich, and they evaluate the animal, right? So what does that mean? What are you evaluating? So Rav Zira b'shem Rav Elazar loy Amar came, right? He says he didn't say like this. Ella v'im kol behema tamei asher lo yikrivu meno korban Lashem, right? So basically, what he's saying is, it says v'im kol behema tamei asher lo yikrivu meno korban Lashem. So what's that telling you? Kol she'eino roi l'korev loy kan v'loy b'makom. If you can't be makrav, not here and not someplace else, then you could be paid it right away. Eino oisa t'mura, and it's not. You can't make a t'mura. Yotzes nekeva shaba'oif la'oila. It's coming to exclude nekeva of an oila, right? So which means because since there is the potential that an oila can be a nekeva by a bird, so therefore you would be allowed to. Even though you can't be makrav here, but you can be makrav someplace else, meaning there is the possibility of an oila becoming a nekeva, theoretically becoming an oila. Rabbi Avun v'Rabbi Bun ba'an kumi Rab Zera. They asked the shayla in front of Rab Zeira. I keep saying it's Zera. Zeira. Harei haroiva v'anirva. So if you have a roiva and a nirva, roiva is if somebody sleeps with the animal, and a nirva is as it a roiva is no, I'm sorry, a roiva is the animal.
The opposite.
Right, yeah, I said right. The roiva, thank you. The roiva is when the animal is the aggressor, I guess. And the nirva is the other way around. Those you can't be makriv, not here, not any place else. But you could still make a roiv and a nirvan tumura. So Amarlon, so he told us, so that was the shayla. Amarlon, afani lo yamarti ela tmeya mamish. No, I didn't mean like that. I meant that it's mamish tameh. So the Gemara leaves off with a kasha. The kasha bedek ziv because that's what it's saying, that you be. The pasuk says we're talking about evaluating the korbanos. So is that what the pasuk's talking about? That can't be. Okay, so that's the Gemara ends off that whole sugya with the kasha, which is very good because the whole thing is one big kasha. To me, it's not, I don't know if it's a kasha. I can't call it a kasha. Maybe it's a shayla. Okay, fine. So up the Mishna. From here it gets easier. So achas alamed yoim b'sharnes alishka. every 30 days they would evaluate the lishka, the prices for the lishka. Yeah. Call him a kabbalah love. The sabik slasus me'ar. But if somebody was makabel on himself to provide silas, right? We said this yesterday, right? Somebody 2 days ago, somebody was makabel on himself to provide flour to the Beis Hamikdash at four saw per seller, whatever, 4 pounds, let's say, for a seller. Amdu mishalish. Right, so then it went up, the price went up, so that all you get is 3 saw, right, 3 pounds per seller. He's still stuck giving 4. Yisavim midalit, he has to give 4. Mishalish v'amdu midalit, and let's say he made it 3, and then the prices went down, so that really you get 4 pounds for the seller. Yisavim midalit, then he has to give 4. Sheyad hekdesh al elyon, the hand of hekdesh is always al elyon, right? In hitliya, so let's say the flour got wormy, hitliya loy, then he's stuck with it, and he has to provide better flour. Then hichmitz yayin, if the wine that they were going to buy the wine of him, hichmitz loy, he's the one that takes the loss. Eina makabel ma'asav achiyim mizbeach meratza. And the reason is because the guy who's selling it doesn't get the money until the Mizbeach actually wants it, meaning that's the literal translation. What it means is that it only has to be right to the Mizbeach. That's when he's supposed to get paid. So since this stuff got wormy or got rotten, so therefore he doesn't get paid. Right, so bottom line is, it's not an easy thing to do business with the Beis Hamikdash. They would get paid though right away because the Kohanim are reason, and since the Kohanim are reason, they're going to make sure that they pay right away. Okay, Hadran Loch Perak HaTruma. I hope that was semi-understandable, but I don't know. The Olam should have a good Yom Tif, and we should have B'suras Tovos. And what do we say? 10 o'clock, right? 10 o'clock. Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah, that's what we made up. 10 o'clock.
Have a good Yom Tov. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good Yom Tov.
Good Yom Tov.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
quick question. Hand cream, is there a problem on to use it for chametz at all?
No,
Shabbos good Yom Tov.
Shabbos good Yom Tov, Rabban.
Shabbos, good Yom Tov.
It's
Rabban,
fine.
where are you?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yes, it's fine. You could use it.
How about on Yom Tov? Use it
Sorry,
on Yom Tov at
are you
all?
guys making chakras?
Yes, but 10:30 is Baruch Hu.
If I oversleep, I've got a place to go.
10:30 is Baruch Hu. Give or take 10:30.
I can
Give or
walk
take
to
11 o'clock?
What?
No, we make
I
it for
can walk there and make it.
Are the Goldbergs joining?
Hold on. The rabbi of the shul is on here.
Oh, my tefillah is 10:50, so we have to make it by 10:50.
Oh, well.
Eric, you have a minute without me?
Yes.
Yes.
You're useless,
Okay.
Naftali.
That's not true, bro. Okay, fine. No,
Rabbi
I'll
Tiago,
see you. I just want to know what pressures I have.
the hot water taps, like the special ones for hot water attached to the sink, are they allowed to be used on Yom Tov?
What is it? Is that my internet going down?
Also, like a separate one. Or you let it use that on Yom Tov?
What, a separate water thing because it's filtered? Is that what you're asking?
I no, my Wi-Fi went out. The special tap for hot water, not the regular sink. It's built in for like coffee or something. Are you allowed to use that on Yom Tov?
Oh, you mean the Instahot?
The Insta, yeah, the Insta.
The only way you could use it is if it has, check it on the bottom if it has a reservoir. If it has a reservoir, then you could use it on Yom Tov. But if it doesn't have a reservoir, which I think they don't, but I don't know, you have to check.
Yeah.
Then,
I have to look. I don't know. So if it has one, then you could use it. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right, no problem. Have a good Shabbos. Good Yom Tov.
Yaakov,
Yeah.
I have to be chaylik on you. Make it sound like a bad thing. That it's Erev Shabbos, we don't understand it.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's in the bottom. What'd you say?
Make it seem like a not such a good thing that it's Erev Shabbos. It makes it harder for us to understand. I think I came out from my Seder. At the end of Alachas Kama V'Kama, right? We say that Kosh Baruch built us the base of Mikdash. L'chaper al kol avei neseinu, right?
We have a flame downstairs.
You're gonna turn it that far?
No, I just take it from the, don't worry about it, just like,
You're gonna put on the flame for Matzah Shabbos?
well, yeah,
The fire? Yeah.
why not?
You don't need a fire.
Correct. We didn't last time.
What? We did, we took it from the outside though.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, Chazal point out that at the end of the Haggadah, right? We say that the Bana Beis HaBechira L'chaper al kol avei neseinu. Yeah, that's the reason. That's what Chazal is telling us. That's the reason the Kosh Baruch Hu gave us a base of Mikdash. I mean, if that's the reason, it comes out that the Eibush, he knows we're human, but that's what he wants. He wants our chatoim. He wants us to get closer through our chatoim. So to say, if the Eibush wants us to learn Erev Shabbos too, going into Shabbos, just because it's hard, that's what makes it more special.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but the bottom line is it's not easy to understand, whichever way you go with it.
Yeah. I think the Eibush still looks at it as a good thing. We're still trying.
Yeah. I hear you. All right, fine.
All right. I get Shabbos, I get Yom Tov.
Shabbos Yom Tov. Moshe Dov, send regards, everybody.
Shabbos Yom Tov.
Shabbos Yom Tov.
What was it? Did I say